Flory Models daily vlog. Here we are on Tuesday the 29th of December 2015, and we're almost over for another year. So, TIE fighters, quite a few of them around at the moment, and you get a good idea of the difference of scales we've got. So we've actually now done the full build for the TIE fighters. We rolled it in one as we was talking about yesterday, so it's focusing the build really on the Vader's TIE fighter, the advanced one, the smaller one down the front here. But what it is, the major difference obviously is the wings on it, or the solar collectors. So what it is, I've shown how to put those together as part of that video. So it doesn't matter if you've got the TIE fighters or you've got the advanced TIE fighter, you can basically watch the video and get a good idea all about it. So these are all set up for the trench run. It's only a two-parter, okay? So, you know, you can sit down. It's going to be around about just under an hour. It's around about a 50-minute video, all of it. Very, very quick, very straightforward. It only takes half an hour because actually there's not many edits. There's probably, it just knocks 5 minutes out of the editing of putting the actual advanced TIE fighter together. To be honest, it takes a little bit longer with the normal TIE fighter, purely to put the wing bits together, but apart from that, they are a lot easier to paint than it is to mask of actually doing Darth's one down there. So that's all ready for the trench run. I intend to do the trench run probably on the Saturday and Sunday when I'm back, because I'm going to go away for a couple of days, okay, and I'm going to crack on with that, and I will video it and I will show you making. It's going to be a simple artistic license trench run. The biggest trouble that you have with it is its scale, because even in 1/72nd, to make it correct, really I work it out that you could probably get 3 fighters across, TIE fighters across. So let's just assume they're in that formation. It's still there, which in these tiles on the bottom here would mean it would have to be a minimum of 4 tiles across. So 4 tiles across, 4 high, would give you a shallow trench. That's a lot of tiles. Now I haven't got enough resin and the cost to be able to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be breaking them up, put them into a trench form, and what we're going to do is probably going to end up with a 3 trench wide run, and having this going to be coming down, perhaps have the TIE fighters slightly staggered, one in front, and we're going to do something else like that. So we're going to make it a little bit artistic license on it, purely because of the scaling thing of actually doing a realistic trench run as deep as it would be for all these fighters down there. So I'm thinking about one behind the other and about sort of this long as well. Okay, so that is the idea behind that. But say we have done the casting, so we've got some tiles, these tiles, we've got the tiles from the kits as well to make up somewhat of what we need in there, just like that. So that'll be quite interesting. So we'll get that done and edited up for you, and that will be up with you next week. We spoke about this guy here. Now this is the Snap Type 1/48 scale, so it's quite a good way of doing this, because you say this is 1/72nd, we've got 1/48th, and then what I did was, as a bit of a giggle, I've done this one, which is the 1/35th, which, as I say, is quite a monster when you put it to the others. Anyway, I got a little bit carried away and then ended up building it. Hello, welcome to Flory Models. I'm Flory, something a little bit different, and one of our nice quick builds we do for the youngsters. Over the space of this month, we've been building all the different TIE fighters. So we've got a bit of a range in scale. We've got the Bandai ones, absolutely fantastic. They go together within a couple of hours. That includes painting and weathering. Really straightforward, very, very simple. So we've got Darth Vader's advanced TIE fighter down there, a couple of the normal TIE fighters. Then we've got one of these. Now this was Rebel's sound one, with all the sounds. And all the bits, one more. So, okay, in I think that scale was 1/72nd, something in between. It was like an off scale, okay. But now we've got this one, which is, this is the biggie. This is the 1/35th scale, all right. Now there's a full video build of that one, and we're going to do this one. But instead of me boring to death, I'm going to do a straightforward unboxing, have a look at it, and then we're going to quickly stick it together, and we can see the size comparison between all the different scales we've got down here. So usual thing, it's an open-ended box. And to be honest, I haven't looked in here before. I literally just opened up the box, save a little bit of time. We've got all the parts down here, so if we have a quick look through them, we can just see what we've got. So in here, this is the standard easy kit that we've seen, obviously, with this guy over here. So as you can imagine, although this one's, actually I think that's supposed to be weathering, is it? It's actually got overspray on all of this part. So this white has been sprayed and then this is on. So personally, I would probably mask all this and respray it, because the overspray is quite heavy. This guy won't have it. Okay, but this is, I'm assuming it's going to be the outside, or I'm hoping it's going to be the outside. That'll be the inside, so it won't matter as much. But generally, the detail is quite nice. Now, is it the same? Is it an upscale? It most definitely isn't, unless these are different. I'm just looking at the things. No, it is definitely different on this one. So these parts down in here, and we're just checking on the inside, do look to be different. The way that they're actually done, there's a slight bit more detail on here. So these Phillips head screw tops that you've actually got, you might see them in the light down there, all the way over here and things like that. There is a slight difference in the two, but basically, as you can see, pre-painted. So if you wanted to, you can come along, put this on like this, and then you're good to go. So that's generally there. You do get quite a nice large stand with this, because as I said, this is the biggest TIE fighter we can get before you start getting into, well, megabucks and money. Okay, so down here again, we've got the fuselage parts. This is that inner wing block and all the rest of it. And generally, one is we've got release agent, but it's not release agent because this has surely been painted afterwards. But the way this is painted is, shall we say, crude at best. Okay, generally just looking at it, it's not the best plastic used and all the rest of it. And considering when we made this guy, we were more than happy the way it actually goes together. This one, on the other hand, is a little bit more crude. I'm going to use the word crude at the moment because it just looks like down here, the paintwork on all these parts is just horrible, generally, all of it. If we just drop this top cam in so you can see. Now, we do know this is a quick build kit, but if you're like myself, you do quite like these because you can then repaint and weather as you would like. But just off the bat, you might notice like down here, we've got lots of overspray that shouldn't be there, and various parts, and this over here shouldn't be there, and all things like that. So generally the process of the way they do this, now I'm not sure exactly how, but even the quality of the paintwork, we got like a drip in there and all things like that, isn't exactly brilliant. Okay, the seats interiors aren't so bad, but definitely those areas are a little bit lacking. So some of the other details, this is the inside of the cockpit, you can see just down on here, okay, and the other part of the tub. Again, looking at the plastic, it's extremely crude the way it is. The detail on the top, all right, you're getting bigger scale and stuff like that, but this guy, personally, I think it's got better detail on it than this big one. Okay, so this guy is definitely going to need to have a complete repaint, I should think, before you make your way through. So you've got the date down in here, which as we know is a 2015 release. So this area here is the stand for it, which has got quite a nice meaty stand, because trust me, it's going to need it, okay? It is a large lump. So we have got some clear parts just down in here. Okay, we can get in. So pre-painted front canopy, which is very handy for the windshield. Top part is going to be a push-in, and this is the rear gunner's window at the back. Okay, so that's no problem there. And then this here will be an exact duplicate of that first one we saw for the other wing. Okay, so as you can see, that's actually how it is. So unping it. Again, this one isn't so bad, but actually this side's nicer. This is the difference. We bring back that first section. You know, this wing here, I don't know how well you can see, but actually isn't too bad on the edges, things like that. If we rotate them the same, but you look on this one, we've got overspray all down here. If we just drop this down. Now, I don't know if this is going to be the reminiscent to all of them, but you can probably see loads of overspray down there. And if we show you right the way around the edges and the inner parts, you can see all this dust. This isn't dust. I thought originally all this was dust. It's not, it's actually overspray. So what I'd be inclined to do, to be honest, is to go round and redo this. This side, it doesn't matter because it's going to be covered, but this side, as you can see, all this stuff all the way around really is a bit of a no-no, all right the way in. But in true Flory model style, what we're going to do is put this thing together, just see how it goes together, and then obviously at some point I might come back to this, mask this up, repaint it, redo it, and everything else like that. But actually it's got quite a lot of competition, because this one is actually a doddle to go together, and it was really, really nice. And to be honest, the paintwork and the finish on this one is far superior to this big one. So anyway, cue the music, let's put this thing together and see what we get. And there we go. Monster. Look at the size of that. And it comes with its own little stand, which I don't know how good it is, but we'll try it. Oh yeah, it's on. There we go. A little bit wobbly. I think you could do some glue. But there we go. There we have it. I must admit. Yeah, I don't like the stand. Okay. Now it's together, it's not as bad, but we've still got overspray everywhere down in there. But actually, I have to say, on the sprue, putting it together, it was awful. The kit itself, the paint they use is, when you cut the sprue, it crumbles. I don't know what it is, like a horrible base paint. But actually, that said, it does go together quite nicely. And I think, and my plan is to pull this apart and repaint it. Now, I know some of the guys have done it in the forum, and they've repainted and weathered these and all the rest of it. It's just a shame that the quality isn't there that's here. Because obviously we've got the different sizes now, you can see the different scales. This is an absolute beast, and it's got some nice weight to it and all the rest of it. But the quality, I have to say, in this kit is better than the big one. Now, why is that? If I'm honest, I think it's the cost per unit. The plastic involved with making this model is very, it's nice to work with. It's quite tough, quite rugged, and almost like a play toy as well. It feels like you could drop this and nothing's going to really happen to it, or a wing might pop off or something else like that. But generally, it just feels stronger, nicer, and more like a toy. But the detail is all there. You've got great detail all over this one, and you know, because this thing has got the soundboard and the lights and all the rest of it, you know, you have got screws and various things in there. You could easily fill those and take care of it. This one, however, whilst it's all here as a model, and don't get me wrong, it does look very nice, it's very impressive and all the rest of it, it just, the plastic feels like it's the cheapest plastic that's on the market. It looks like this bin's been made to a price point, and the way they did that was take some real nasty shortcuts, as in, let's find the cheapest, you know, plastic we can possibly use. The painting, let's use the cheapest paint we can afford to do, and all the rest of it. The overspray, to be honest, is pretty, I'm assuming this is just a bad one. You can see it all down this edge, because when you look at the other side, we haven't got it. It's just this inner wing here. It's just covered in overspray. It's nasty, it's horrible. I don't know if somebody's first day on the job or something, but generally it's not nice at all. But it's just the overall quality isn't there. Now, I'm assuming this is just an upscale of something like that, a few more details added to it and all the rest of it, but you know, it's not the best for straight out of the box. That said, I think if I was, and I am going to at some point, take this thing apart, take my time, we're going to knock the seams back, do it properly, paint the cockpit, because we can see it in this one. This is the big difference with this one. We can actually see the front and rear cockpits because of the way this is. And then go around and properly paint up these back areas. Seam fill and seal down this cockpit tub, which actually isn't too bad. I know it seems gimmicky and horrible, but yeah, hell, it's how it works. But you know, generally I think it is almost there. It's just one of those things. It's a little bit of a shame. It's supposed to be an easy kit for the kids. I think the kids will love it. From our point of view as scale modelers, it just needs a lot more refinement and a lot more work to it. But I think it's a great starting point. It's a great jumping point. Price, I think this was about 35 quid. It's not so bad. It's quite a large lump. It's quite a heavy lump of plastic and all the rest of it. It's just that I'm a little bit put off by the quality of the plastic and all the rest of it. It would have been nicer to see this as a more refined kit, perhaps spend a few more quid just to add a few more little touches to it and everything else like that. But generally, as a fast out-the-box build, then, you know, this thing took me half an hour to chuck together. It's there. You know, it's all there and it's all absolutely fine. And from a scale point of view, if we put this next to one of our 72nd Bandai ones, as you can see them here, there is quite a difference. This thing is an absolute monster, you know, and when you compare it with this guy, it is, I'm not actually sure, I think this is 48, so I think this is roughly working down what we've got here. We've got 72nd, 48th, and this is a 35th scale, so it is a complete beast, quite a large lump, and it's pretty much there. So there we go, that is the Star Wars from Rebels Easy Kit number 2. This is, what do they call this one? The First Order Special Forces TIE Fighter. So there you go, you've just seen that little bit of a clip on there. I thought it'd be quite interesting just to throw it in. But you see, it's one of those things where, is it you know, or isn't it? I couldn't work it out. When you look at it, it's broken down parts and all the rest of it, you think it's horrible, it's crude, it's not nice. When it's in one lump like this, actually it doesn't look too bad at all. Yes, it needs painting, and I would love to go back to this one. As we've seen some of your guys, you've done great work on the actual site with these things, and you've put these things together, painted, weathered, and all the rest of it. I think they're absolutely fantastic. They're a great jump off point. It's just amazing that it's big and clunky and all the rest of it, but the smaller brother, if you like, to it, this guy, it just feels so much more nicer. The plastic's better quality, as we spoke about in that video, and all the rest of it. So, but they are still great kits, and I think if you're coming into the modelling, or certainly you're more into your weathering and your things like that, these could be a great jump point for doing some super detailing. What I would love to do is get a hold of one of these and completely rip it apart and detail it and add my own personal touches to it. Perhaps, you know, now the films are out, let's face it, we've all seen the films now, you can actually get some great reference shots from these things, and then be able to go through and really bring these to life, because it wouldn't take much. Whip the electrics out, because nobody's going to want that, and then fill all the holes, you know, the nuts and screws and bolts and things like that. But actually there's not many in this one either. This one was a video build as well. We did it as a quick one for the kids, so you can go back and look at that one. And as I say, that one was just a little bit of a giggle. I thought I might as well pop it together. Half hour later and it was done. So quite a bit of fun with things like that. Remember, we're getting near the end of the year, so there's still time to actually get your name down on the actual prize draw to win this one. Not this one, because this is the review one, which I'm going to build. I've got another one over there that's brand new and still sealed and everything else like that. So this is the Scout Trooper in 1/12, just make sure, 1/12 scale, with his bike. That is available to win. Anybody can enter, as long as you remember, obviously, just go into the forum, pop your name down in there and to the prize draw area for December, and then I'll pick the winner on Monday, okay? So there's still loads of time on that one. To be honest, I'm running out of slight bit of time with editing. I've got a mountain of editing to get through, because we've actually done now, or almost finished, Darth Vader. We've got the troopers, we've got them over there, the clone trooper, or off my head, the First Order Stormtrooper, the Sand Trooper I've got to weather yet as well, so I've still got various things to do with those, but as I said, I'm going to do those at the weekend, and on Monday I come back as well. So really that's it for me. I'm going to be off now, to be honest. I'm travelling up to Staffordshire tomorrow. Hopefully we're going to beat the weather. Spending up there, I'm going to be up there till Saturday, and then we'll be back Saturday afternoon back down here. Then I can work over the weekend and be back with you on Monday. So it's my honour to wish you all a happy new year. Have a great time. Next year I've got some big plans, some changes as well. I'm going to make some changes to how I do things, various bits of my way I present work to you and things like that. Some things I've had a bit of a sit down and I think, especially over the last couple of weeks, and I've made a few little changes, shall we say, which hopefully you'll be for the better, and everything else like that. It's been fantastic to do these Star Wars ones. If you guys are doing your Star Wars one now, get as many done as you can. I'm going to be doing the end year video for this one personally, so we're going to get as many of your builds in there as possible. It'll be absolutely fantastic for the end SIG video. Don't forget to get all the other blog SIGs and group builds done. Don't forget the red versus blue, crack on with those guys, because certainly you're going to be entitled for a medal, okay, and obviously there'll be a sticker set, the badge, and maybe something else going to go in with those as well, okay? So make sure you get those finished, done, and dated obviously before the 1st, all right? So then obviously you're going to be eligible for all of those. Get all the SIGs done, guys, because we've got some great stuff next year. We spoke about it before. I'm going to cover it all on Monday's show as well and go right the way through them. As we've got loads of reviews, I have got a pile of reviews down there. I'm looking at it now, and some nice stuff in there, like a MiG-21 MF. We've got the Ultra Sabre to get on down there, the T-14. As well as that fantastic, the multiple launch long range rocket thing, the Schmeck, is it? The 9A52-2 as well, plus some goodies down there, plus the fact we've had some bits from Airscale sent to us as well. I want to have a look at next week, so I've got a mountain of stuff to get through and everything else like that. And then hopefully we'll have the live shows next week as well with you, and everything else like that. So I want to wish you a very happy new year. Have a few drinks for me, everybody, and get some modelling done. So until next year, everybody, happy modelling and take care.